This is Rob Carbone, and you're listening to BD4.
He loops out to left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play, and flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter. There it goes. Deep to left, really deep. See ya. Oh, my goodness, what a shot by Aaron Judge.
Oh, way back left field. You gotta be kidding me. Goodbye, home run. I swear to God, you gotta put four fingers up. Torres comes to the plate.
See ya. A home run by Derek Jeter. Oh, what a ball game. A game-winning walk-off home run by Derek Jeter. He is Mr. November.
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof.
That is high, not as far. That is gone. A tremendous home run to the back end of the grandstand in left field. The Sanchino. No, that Gary is scary.
Ball game over. Yankees win. No! Yankees win.
That was almost so ugly. That could have gone so much worse. We got so fortunate there that Aaron Judge is is who he is a big time power hitter. Oh man. Fuck, I almost flipped out for a second. But wow. Aaron Judge comes through in that 8th inning. You know, if that didn't happen, this would have been a nice big rant of an episode. It probably would have made for a better episode, to be honest with you guys, had the Yankees blown that 5-0 lead. But Aaron Judge comes through, bails out Aaron Boone, bails out Gary Sanchez, bails out Jay Happ, and bails out the Yankees with a big home run in that top of the 9th inning to put the Yankees up for good 8-6. What's going on, everybody? This is Rob Carbone coming at you with another episode of BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Episode 144 of the podcast tonight. And yeah, so I guess we'll start with game 2. We'll segue right into game 2, being that, you know, we're literally just coming off of watching that. I actually just caught the end of that Clippers-Lakers game, so the NBA is back tonight. That's good. I put a couple of bucks on the Clippers to win, but Paul George missed that final shot in the end, and LeBron sealed the deal a couple of minutes before that, so it didn't win there, but it's exciting that the NBA is back for sure. Very glad that sports is kind of, hopefully we're going to make this work with sports. You know, the MLB in particular is kind of much more shakier, being that they're not in a bubble on some campus, you know, in the middle of nowhere. They are traveling. You know, they are traveling regionally, but they're still traveling. And, you know, we've got the case with the Miami Marlins and the Phillies. So hopefully we can continue to decline this whole, I don't know, to kind of, hopefully we can start fucking avoiding this virus, man. I don't know. But back to what I was talking about. Let's get back to the Yankees really quick. Yeah, that game was something else, huh? 8-6. So well, we start out 5-0 in that first inning. Obviously the big blow comes from off the bat of Luke Voit, who's finally starting to heat up, it seems. Big home run the other night. Gets the big grand slam tonight in that first inning to make it 5-0. And yeah, the Yankees had a nice lead. Jay Happ doesn't have it. He's exactly who I think he's going to be this year, which is, you know, a declining pitcher who's never been that great to begin with. Don't understand the love he gets from Yankees fans. I think he is who he is, which is just a middle ground mediocre pitcher at this point in his career. But he doesn't do well. He gives up 4 runs in total, so it's 5-4 for a little bit. Then we go to that rain delay and we come back out. Aaron Boone tries to squeeze outs with Johnny Lasagna in the 7th and 8th inning. Why are we throwing Johnny Lasagna in the 7th and 8th inning 5 games into the season of a 60-game season where we just had 2 days off in a row not long ago? It's the most Aaron Boone and the Yankees thing ever, prioritizing rest in a scenario where there is literally no reason for rest. And that's the only logic I can, point to as to why he put him in there. Was it for rest? And that's not even logical, because it doesn't make sense. Fucking nobody's trying to rest anybody here when you don't need it. So that was a very questionable decision, trying to squeeze outs from him when, really you look at it so far, 5 games in, it seems like Boone has used his lower level pitchers more than he's done so his higher level guys. Questionable at best to throw Loisaga in there. I think that's the first time I've ever used Lasagna's real name. But Lasagna ends up giving up a big 2-run bomb to put the O's on top in the 8th inning, 6-5. So from a 5-4 Yankee lead, Lasagna gives up a bomb. Boone trying to squeeze outs from him and steal outs, and it doesn't work. Makes it 6-5 O's. So the O's take the lead. And even backtracking a little bit, Yankees had their opportunities tonight with runners in scoring position. Recently in the 8th inning, it was Gary Sanchez who once again came to the plate with a couple of runners on base and once again did not come through via the strikeout. This fucking guy, man. And I don't want to act like I'm surprised. I know who Gary Sanchez is. I'm not holding on hope that Gary's going to become that all-around hitting machine that he was in his first year and a half in the big leagues, because that's not who he is anymore. To me, I think he is who he is at this point in his career, which is a streaky, very streaky, one-dimensional power hitter. Very one-dimensional, very powerful hitting catcher. He's going to hit 10 home runs within 20 games, and then he'll hit, $120 in the next 20 games. And that's who he is. That's who he's been for the past several seasons. And I think that's just who we're going to have to accept him as right now. And Gary Sanchez is on one of those cold streaks at the moment. Not looking good. But there's nothing you can do. What are you going to do? You're going to play Higashioka, who's not going to give you any kind of production either at the plate. You at this point, you just have to stick with Gary Sanchez in hopes that he gets his head out of his ass. But he doesn't come through in that 8th inning. Lasagna ends up giving up the 2-run bomb. Not looking good for Boone. Not looking good for Gary. Not looking good for Hap. But Judge saves the night. LeMahieu gets another hit here, continuing his hot streak. Gets on base for Judge, and then Judge takes the ball to left field. And before you know it, the Yankees are on top 8-6. And wow, it could have been ugly, but fortunately Aaron Judge comes through with a big bomb, and the Yankees take the victory from there with Zach Britton. Thankfully, it's not like Aaron Boone went with Jonathan Holder or some other random scrub in the 9th. He actually went with one of his bigger arms in Zach Britton, who is our temporary closer until Chapman returns from COVID. So Zach Britton gets the save. The Yankees take the 8-6 victory. Briefly sweep the O's here in this little 2-game set and move to 4-1 on top of the AL East at the moment. And now we're heading home to New York to host the Boston Red Sox for a few games, which will be fun. First time in Yankee Stadium. Obviously, the rivalry is about the fans, but it is what it is. We've already discussed that enough. Now, game 1 of this series was Gerrit Cole. Now, Cole pitched well. He actually dominated. There was like a stretch in the game where he retired 20 of 21 batters faced. He retired. There was a stretch there where he actually retired 14 or 15 in a row too. But it was that 7th inning where he came back out, didn't have it, kind of lost track a little bit, and allowed 3 extra base hits in a row, a homer knocking him out of the game, putting 3 runs to his 6 2/3 innings line. So the line didn't look too great, but all in all, you watch the game and don't just read off a stat line. He pitched very good baseball. So Gerrit Cole looked fine. 7 more strikeouts to his line as well. Ugly finish for him, but still a good outing. And On the other end, the Yankees dropped 9 runs on the O's in Game 1. It was LeMahieu, with his best game so far this season, with a big home run to lead off the game, and then 4 total hits in the game overall. Judge homered again. Well, that was his first of 2 homers so far in the season. Him and Hicks actually both went yard in the 3rd inning that game. So he looked good. Stanton stayed strong, piled his 5th RBI in that game, got on base a couple times, and Stanton also got on base 3 or 4 more times tonight. And he continues to look very good this season. So you talk about LeMahieu looking sharp, Judge looking sharp, and you got Stanton. Voit's kind of coming alive too. It's good to see him kind of waking up. But you got Stanton now, who looks much better than he's ever done so far in a Yankee uniform. Now, granted, it's 5 fucking games. He could go right back to swinging at balls 15 feet, in the dirt. But as for now, he looks like he did when he came back real briefly from injury last season. He played about 18 games for the Yankees, where his plate discipline was very sharp there too. It looks like he's not really chasing as much. It looks like he's a little leaner too physically, and so that's good. It looks like he's much more of a hitter than he is just a one-dimensional slugger who's going to stick his bat out there and hope to run into a fastball. Now, again, that's going to have to continue, obviously, before I buy into him 100%. But so far, he's been one of the Yankees, if not the most productive Yankee hitter in this lineup. The OPS is absurd at the moment. The on-base percentage is what I like most. When you pick apart that OPS, it's like the north of 500 on-base percentage I'm looking at. He's walking more. He's settling for that single a lot more, and he's still mixing it in with a couple of homers as well. So Giancarlo looks a lot better than I thought. I like what I'm seeing from Voit lately. Again, Judge, LeMahieu, they look just as good as they've ever done, as they've ever looked. And again, on the other side of things, Cole is off to a decent start, 2-0 as a Yankee, 11 in 2/3 innings pitched, 4 runs, so not bad there. And yeah, 2 games in the books against the O's and 2 more victories against this team. The Yankees continue to beat the hell out of Baltimore Oriole baseball, man. They have their way against them, as they should. This is a team that's, some call them the AA team. I don't even call them that. I think this is a fucking high school varsity team out there. And the Yankees are doing what they're supposed to do. Tonight was a little close, much closer than it should have been. But in the end, a win is a win is a win is a win is a win. So 4-1, folks, at the top of the division. Brett Gardner didn't play tonight. Miguel Andujar took his spot for a bit. Miggy hasn't gotten a hit yet since playing. I don't believe so. But he hasn't played much. Hopefully he can get a little more at-bats, with Brett Gardner. Also, Sanchez isn't standing alone when it comes to being hitless on the season. Gardner's not striking out every single at-bat like Sanchez is. He's making more contact, but he's not gotten a hit yet either. And it was good to see Aaron Boone do something productive and plug Andujar into his spot. So hopefully Andujar can get the bat going and play more consistently. Will we ever see Clint Frazier? I hope, but it's really difficult, with all these players that we're kind of shuffling around. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the Yankees deal with this roster, with so much, I guess, talent and so little spots. But again, there's not much to discuss in this one, guys. It was only a 2-game series, and it was kind of a simple 2-game set that not much really went on. So I'm happy the Yankees won a couple more, but we just got to keep winning for now and hope that everybody stays healthy. Hope that this COVID thing continues to die down, or I shouldn't say continue to, because we're in a situation right now where week to week we're going to be thinking about the future of baseball in 2020, to be honest with you, because this whole thing with Miami and Philadelphia is not looking too promising. So I'm hoping that it's not going to become one of these stop and go scenarios constantly, and that we're constantly looking at the schedule and it's changing, and that's going to be ugly. So hopefully we avoid that and everybody stays healthy. But we'll see. We'll see. As for the Yankees themselves, they're taking care of business, man. One loss so far in 5 games, knock on wood. But they're taking care of business. Took 2 out of 3 against the reigning champs, and then quickly swept the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore, in Camden. So that's it. That's all I got. We're gonna head to break, and then we'll wrap it up with the NYK question of the day. All right, be right back. Hey guys, really quick, I just want to remind you, if you haven't yet, please go to my website at nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com/connect and subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the blog, and follow me on social media. That's all you got to do. Just go to my website, nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com/connect. All right, let's get back to. I kind of just cut that out, my fault, but you get the info. You get it. Go to my website and subscribe to the podcast. So the fucking Yankees win, though. The fucking Yankees win. Thankfully, that was thankful for Aaron Judge there. I am so thankful for Aaron Judge doing what he can do. Hitting the homers and bailing this team out from what could have been a potential disaster in Baltimore tonight. Man, I was so heated. Gary struck out weakly in that 8th inning. Boone throws out Lasagna for another inning. Made no sense. Lasagna gives up the long ball. I'm furious. I'm laughing. I'm in a very interesting state of mind. But Aaron Judge then comes through with the big homer in the top of the 9th, and the Yankees take their 3rd victory in a row, 4th in the season. All right, so that's that. Let's get to this NYK question of the day, and then we're gonna wrap this one up. All right. Last time out in the NYK question of the day, episode 143. I asked you this: who was the last Yankee to win the American League Cy Young Award? All right, so once again, I asked you, who was the last Yankee to win the American League Cy Young Award? And the answer to that question, Roger Clemens in 2001. It's been a while since the Yankees have had a Cy Young Award winner. Kind of sad, but when you look back at it, one World Series victory in the last 17 years, it makes sense. Oh, shit. Pitching, right? Pitching wins championships. Never going to get old. Roger Clemens in 01. So that's the answer to episode 143. Now, as for episode 144, tonight's NYK question of the day is, let's see if I have it right here. Okay. So Bernie Williams played for the Yankees his entire career. He played 16 seasons. I'll even give you that. But which season was his final season? What year specifically was Bernie Williams' last season in the MLB? What was his last season in the MLB? What year was that? So message me on Facebook, on Twitter, or on Instagram, or just comment on the post when I publish the podcast here and let me know the answers. So one last time, what year was it when Bernie Williams played his last season in baseball? All right. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 144 of the podcast. This is Rob Carbone with episode 144 of BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Speaking of those Knicks, we did hire Tom Thibodeau. So I may or may not have an episode sometime in the coming month where I discuss the Knicks hiring of Thibodeau and everything that's been going on with them recently, since it's been a little bit since we've talked about them. So I may have an episode sometime in, wow, it's already August in a day or so. Holy shit. I don't like that. Jesus Christ. It's almost the end of the summer. Oh, shit. Tell you, when you get 25 years old, time flies so much faster than you want it to. Jesus. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna edit the podcast. I'm gonna put it up and I'm gonna go to bed. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, episode 144 of BD4. This has been your host, Rob Carbone, and hope everybody has a good night. Go Yankees. Let's keep winning. All right, I'll see you next time. Ciao.